Hello?
Yeah, we could see your screen.
Oh, good. Thank you. Can I start now, or you want me to wait?
I think we can start. It is already 10 people now.
Yeah. So
And 8, 10 already.
yeah. Today's topic is SAP controlling SEC versus S4HANA. Till now, people were thinking there are many changes happen in only in finance, but people are missing controlling, and there is a misconception in the market there will be no CVO in the future because everything is moving out from controlling and moving into FI. It may not be correct, but a few people are thinking casting based COPA is moving into finance, like accounting based COPA and profit center accounting is already in finance now, and there is no relevance for cost center accounting, internal order accounting in the future. And all the data tables are sitting in ACDOCA now. So there are many misconceptions, but in my view, CVO will be there always, but they may combine all the features into one, and definitely it will be there. And to my knowledge, definitely CVO is very critical for business because it is controlling management accounting. So, so most of the I will jump here and there, from finance to controlling, controlling to finance. The reason is when we start controlling, definitely it is depends on finance first. And because of design changes in S4HANA, we have to discuss a few things in finance so that we'll get clear idea what exactly the change, what is the impact of that change. So will it reflect for end users? So what is the business benefit they are going to get because of this change? So everybody knows the major design change is bringing a Docker table and a columnar storage. So it is like a revamp for entire SAP solution, SAP HANA database. Basically, that is cause for all these changes, all the design changes. So just the first slide is like major design improvements with S4HANA. This is just I thought of putting all points in one slide. That is the reason I kept so that I won't forget. That is the reason kept. But I know this is a big slide, and I will read and I will explain. Okay. So everybody is aware. Earlier, we used to create cost elements in controlling. There is a cost element accounting submodule, but now the cost element accounting entirely moved to GL account master. So this was made to ensure that all data in CO is also reflected in FI. So this is self-explanatory. In order to fulfill this, SAP.
Murali,
Yes, sir.
one quick question అండి అంటే ఇప్పుడు జిఎల్ మాస్టర్లోనే కాస్ట్ ఎలిమెంట్ కూడా ఉంటుందా? అది ఫీల్డ్ ఎక్స్టెండ్
I'll
చేశారా?
show all the screens, sir. Just wait
Sure.
a minute. I have different slides, and I'm going to discuss it at minute level. Don't worry. Maybe I'll ask you guys. You can ask the questions for each break. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm going to show the screens. I kept all the screen captures, everything. So in order to have both GL account and cost elements, SAP brought cost element category into GL account master data. So earlier it was not there because we used to create cost element separately. Since now they both are merged, so they brought a cost element category. Once we select so this enables users to differentiate the postings between the primary and secondary. So hope everybody knows primary postings will be originated from finance, and secondary postings originating from CO. Earlier, the whole secondary postings were reflecting only in CO. Because of CO FI integration, they used to reflect in finance, but not fully. The visibility lost earlier. Now, because of S4 HANA design changes, we have the visibility, and I will tell you what exactly I'm talking in the coming slides. This is just major improvements I'm talking. So I'll go in deep for each topic. So CO data is available in CO just like before. There is no change. Um, why I'm telling this is like we have CSK table, CSKV table. I guess CO is still there. And as I said before, like we earlier we used to do some customization for COFI real-time integration. Um, but now like we'll discuss those things in the coming slides. So next one is like everybody is about aware about design changes, like all index tables, total tables are removed, and those are replaced with views. The purpose of removing and replacing with the views is uh, most of the reports are built based on the these existing index tables are totals tables. The reason is like performance. So earlier, we used to build summarization levels to execute reports, and normally most of the reports in finance will get the data from totals table, then index tables. Otherwise, if it tries to hit regular tables, line item tables, it will take a lot of time and it will consume memory, and it will delay the execution process. So because of Agdoka and columnar storage, they are replacing all these, and now there are no index tables and total tables. But still, I agree, the purpose of S4HANA is like to remove redundancy. When I say redundancy, it's a duplication of data. But still, there are few cases we have redundancy, but SAP is working on it, and probably in a few months or years, the redundancy will be gone. Because data is a read in memory, we no longer have performance constraints. Index tables were previously used to store replicated data in summarized format, but they are not necessary anymore. Views for summarized tables are available so that existing reports which were built on these summarization tables will work in future. So there will be no problem, though we removed, though SAP removed these totals tables. When I say totals tables, people will use the summarized tables or GLT0. These things are Flagel, FlexT. These are totals tables. Most of the reports will get data from these. If it is classic ledger, it is GLT0. If it is new GL, Flagel, FlexT. FAGL, FlexT. So since we have views now, so no report will truncate. It will get data from the views. So the functionality works as is. There will be no interruption. And the hot topic in controlling is COPA, profitability analysis. So there are many changes happened in COPA, especially once they after introduction of S4HANA. Initially, they started like they want to bring account-based costing-based COPA features into account-based, and then they brought a combined COPA. Now they are calling it as margin analysis. COPA is called as a margin analysis. So still costing based COPA is there, and it is not must. So where once people decided to use S4 HANA, they have to use account based COPA, and costing based COPA is not mandatory. After release 1809, like most of the limitations of based COPA have been addressed, except a handful of features such as cost component split posting in COPA, which can be done either standard cost or actual cost, but not in both. There are few areas need to be corrected, but this is one of them. And alternative costing variance is not supported. So if these features are not useful for specific users, they need to then the need for costing based COPA can be eliminated. So to my observation, these are the only things still not incorporated into account based COPA. They brought many features whatever we have in costing based COPA right now available in um, account based COPA. So any questions? Because this is just major design improvements I talked, but I did not go in deeper. In the coming slides, I will go in deeper so that people will get some idea. And if you have any questions, maybe you can ask when we start discussing about that particular topic. So these are the I did not put these points specific. I cannot put these points in separate combine with some other area. That's the reason I just kept these in separate slide. As for HANA changes, like earlier in the Metal Master field length was 18 characters. Right now in ECC, sorry, in ECC it was 18, and in S4 HANA it is 40 characters. So, and the cast components, like number of configurable cast components, earlier it was a 40, um, now it is 120. All MB transactions, MB star transactions are obsolete in S4 HANA. When I say MB1A, MB star, MB1A, MB1C, those material related transactions, those are gone now. And before this call, I was discussing Satish was talking about there is one more observation from his side. In S4 HANA, there is a service material type introduced now. I did not check that. Satish, you want to add any point here?
Murli, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, please.
Yeah, so the MB star transactions are absolute, right? So in that case, do we have any replacement transactions or how we are doing the existing process?
Naga, Naga, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, MB transactions are earlier started before easy access. You hope you are aware, enjoy transactions.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier, we used to have FB01. Afterwards, we have separate transaction FB60, FB70, FB50. These are enjoy transactions.
Mm-hmm.
So those transactions which were introduced before enjoy transactions are gone. If you see business side, most of the people, the old college students, they will use MBs, and later they have some other transaction. But since I am not logistics guy, I cannot list down. But there is a way in SAP to identify what are the transactions are obsolete. There is a way. If you want, I can share it this after this meeting.
Yeah, fine. Yeah.
So now I'm going into controlling area settings. So what are the changes in controlling area settings? You can see a left side ECC screenshot and the right side S4HANA screenshot. So as discussed earlier, we used to do configuration for reconciliation ledger in ECC. That is the reason we need to select that whenever this reconciliation ledger active, and we have to go to document type, etc. There are some other settings after this. This is a controlling area settings I am talking. And the right side, you can see reconciliation ledger, though the box is there, but it is disabled. So users or anybody cannot enable that. Even SAP OSS no, there are no OSS nodes. The reason I'm going to discuss next slides. And this object currency, these are the 5 fields they introduced this time. Uh, the object currency thing, because I'm not clear about this, that is the reason I don't want misguide you people. What is the purpose? So I'm just leaving that now. This is another screenshot about controlling area settings. If you see the left side, we have maintain controlling area, maintain number ranges for controlling documents, maintain versions. These are there in ECC. Whereas in S4 HANA, they introduced subsequent assignment of company codes. For example, if we introduced new company code, or else uh, if you want to get any some CO related assignments, then we have to do this. But I have no clue when they will do. But to my knowledge, it is once the documents are generated, or else once you get the data from legacy system, then you can add some assignments for the existing transactions. So that is my I do not have much idea about that. And the next one is define ledger for.
Hello, you're sharing screen?
Yeah, I'm sharing. Who is this?
Okay, okay, this is Venkat. Somehow I couldn't see.
Oh, sir, I guess others are able to see my screen. Maybe you can try to rejoin.
Yes, we are able to see
Okay.
your screen.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, please go ahead.
Yeah, no problem. So, they added setting define ledger for CO. Define ledger for CO version. So earlier we do not have this, and in S4HANA, SAP introduced ledgers. So we can assign version for each ledger. The down below, I highlighted one controlling area for the version 0 and ledger 0L. For example, if you have multiple versions, then you can different versions in different ledgers. That's the whole purpose of this.
You're bounce it and then you hit it. Like do like this.
So
You can't bounce it
ECC was
before you can hit
S4HANA
it.
basic setting. So earlier in ECC, CO related postings are updated in COEP table, that is line item table, and the totals are updated in COSP for primary costs and the COSS for secondary costs. And in S4HANA, as you guys aware, there are no totals tables no longer there. There is a reason they removed COSP and COSS, and still, I will not say totally they removed. They are using for some other purpose. You can see here like all actual data continue to be stored in the line item table COEP. And they introduced new table COSP underscore BAK and COSS underscore BAK. These two tables are especially for storing planning related data for both primary cars and secondary cars, respectively. Like as I said before, COSP for primary cars and COSS for secondary cars. So they introduced back tables to store plan values. So actual data of COEP, again, it is value type WRTTP, or that is actuals are now stored in ACDOCA table AC.A. Statistical data of COEP, value type 11 is stored in ACDOCA. So it means these two are moved to ACDOCA and rest are still sitting in COEP, not all. So again, actual data need to be for long-term orders projects from COSP underscore BAK, COSS underscore BAK is stored in tables AC.A. So here you can see like right side, we have line item table AC.A. As everybody is aware, AC.A indicates AC means accounts and DOC means the document, A for actuals. So this is line item table, BKPF is header table. So now these are mapped COBK, COEP, COSP underscore BAK, COSS underscore BAK. We have these. So actual data, this already we discussed, just it's just repetition. Maybe you can read it. So I'll just read it. Actual data of COEP, value types 4 actuals and 11 statistical actually stored in ACDOCA.
Murli, sorry Murli. So screen not coming Murli. Logged in and logged out multiple times. Yeah, now we can see. Yeah.
Now you're able to see?
Yeah, now we can see.
Okay, I was in play mode. Maybe I'll keep it like this. So these are long running orders and projects data will be stored in COSP underscore BAK and COSS BAK. Then currently the header table COBK is written as before. There is no change, but the target is to replace the COBK with BKPF. They are saying since day one, but unfortunately it is not materialized yet, but it may be happen in the future. So compatibility views, everybody knows about this, and they are creating compatibility views to reproduce old structures. So access to old tables is still possible via view, that is v underscore table name underscore ORI. Following are the features of non-actual items. Value types other than 4 and 11 are still stored in COEP, COSP underscore BAK, and COSS underscore BAK. So this particular slide is about material ledger. Below, these are the changes at table level. As you guys aware, like in S4HANA, material ledger is mandatory for logistics, and though actual costing is not mandatory. The use of material ledger for parallel currencies and parallel valuation purpose, the contents of various tables like ML, just I will read because you need not remember all these. Maybe once you start working, you can remember this. The contents of MLIT, MLPP, MLPPF, MLCR, MLCRF, MLCD, CKMI1, and BSIM tables are now stored in ACDOCA. So MLHD is the data is stored in BKPF. This is a header. So all ledger related header transactions will be stored in BKPF. And again, compatibility views are provided to reproduce old structures. It is not only in CO, across all the modules. Access to old data in tables is still possible via views, that is v underscore table name underscore ORI. MLHT, MLIT, MLPP, and MLCR still keep a prima notification, the prima nota information in case of manual price changes or a material debit or credit. So the no change for these documents. It will be still updating in MLHT, MLIT, MLPP, and MLCR. In the use of material ledger for actual costing purpose, MLIT, MLPP, MLPPF, MLCR, MLCRF, and MLCD are used as they were before in simple plans. I never worked in material ledger, just I'm just reading whatever it is there. So next thing is about GL and cost elements. So everybody is aware about what is the major change in finance is like they brought cost elements into finance GL accounts. Earlier we used to create cost elements in CO, but now in S4HANA they brought these cost elements into FI, that is a GL account, and now transaction codes for creation of cost elements, cost element related transactions will be pointed to FS00 or FS03, that is the GL account. Though they removed KA, that is KA star, that is cost element transaction, but still the cost element group transaction still remain. And one more thing is because of introduction of these cost elements into finance, so we need to assign them in the financial statement version. So if it is not assigned, then it will show under not assigned GL accounts. Quickly, I'll jump into another slide. I hope you are able to see this screen. Accounting before simple finance, multiple sources of truth. Can somebody confirm me?
Yes, Murali, it is. We are able to see your screen.
Yeah. The reason why I'm bringing this screen here is like just I thought of discussing so that even if we miss something, then we can catch it here. So as you aware, like in S4HANA, we have AC dossier table. Now all that earlier we used to store in different tables for each submodule. It was a cumbersome job for the people who are working in finance. It's doing reconciliation is the toughest job because of combining all into one. The life of accountants is not miserable now, but better than earlier. So the combined contents of several tables represents the truth. Reconciliation efforts are enforced by design. So going forward, there will be no need to do reconciliation like we are doing earlier. If you see the screenshot, like we have material ledger separately, we have asset accounting table separately, CO table separately, COPA table separately. But now they brought all into one. Still they're working, and the costing based COPA, still we are using CE tables, not FI tables. Our whole idea is like they want to stop using costing based COPA. That is the reason they did not brought costing based COPA here. But asset accounting, all are now sitting in ACDOCA table, and they deleted, they removed most of the tables except few. Material ledger also same, like we already discussed about the material ledger tables and CO tables. So again, like this is the probably most of us might have seen this screenshot. This is like a universal journal in the center, the green one, and all GL, COPA, CO, asset accounting, material ledger, everything is storing now, including custom fields like a coding block. So now even secondary cost elements or GL accounts, that's why even everything will be stored here. So I don't want to discuss much about this because just I thought of showing you this screenshot so that just to recap whatever we know. So like earlier we have GL separately and cost elements separately. In GL we have two types of accounts. One is balance sheet accounts. Second one is profit and loss account. So basically, like for balance sheet account, we need not create cost element except for few for asset encoding and MM related with type 90. Those are exceptions, but for rest of the balance sheet accounts, we need not create cost element. Whereas P&L accounts, we have to create cost elements except few again. So again in cost elements, we have two types of cost elements. One is primary cost element and another one is secondary cost element. So primary cost element always like whenever you make any postings in primary cost, it will reflect both in FI and CO. But secondary cost element and postings are only in CO. So because of merger for this GL account and cost elements, like now they segregated four types of account types. One is first one is balance sheet accounts. Under P&L accounts, they segregated into three. First one is non-operating expenses and revenues. Another one is primary cost elements. Third one is secondary cost elements. So we have four different types: balance sheet X, non-operating expenses N, primary cost revenue P, S is secondary cost elements. Again, like non-operating expenses and revenue accounts, you need not have cost elements earlier also. Now we have separately. So like everybody is aware, like all the GL accounts are part of chart of accounts, and chart of accounts will have balance sheet accounts and P&L accounts. So like earlier we have in cost element, like we have time dependency. Because of introduction of cost elements into GL accounts, we cannot create time dependency, like that is validity period. Earlier we used to have validity period. So this cost element is valid from this period to this period. Now it is no longer there. And in cost element master, we can default some default account assignment. Now, because of merger of cost element into finance, so we cannot do this default account assignment. We have to use OKB9. So default account assignments maintained in cost element master are migrated to OKB9. So main problem with this is like I saw many cases like business users, whenever they want to default some cost center or some they used to give it in the cost element master. Now it is not possible. They have to have OKB9. Again, OKB9 is customization, so we have to move the changes from development. They cannot do directly in production. That is the main drawback we have. So cost element type remains. No secondary cost elements are still only posted from CO location. Again,
Murali,
yes, sir.
the default one, right? Default assignment in cost element, whatever they removed,
Yes, sir.
it's not a disadvantage actually, it's an advantage. The
Uh,
reason is earlier, see, if you add this cost element, right, with the cost center or internal order,
yes, sir.
what happens? The people will forget that. And then always, whenever you use that cost element, that cost center or internal order, try to post with that one, default one.
Yes,
So
sir.
it creates a lot of issues, right? Because cost
I
center
agree with
and
you.
internal orders are company code specific.
Yeah, I agree
So
with you
that's
totally.
only a shortcut thing people have, which is to avoid that no discrepancy. SAP has removed.
Yeah, you are correct.
Just try to strengthen that. Yeah,
Yeah, you are correct. The thing
strengthen
is
the
like
loophole.
the people whoever is using that, they are feeling it as disadvantage. Now they cannot do anything. No longer can do that.
Yeah. Whatever the shortcut you have,
Yes, yes.
it's right in your hands.
See,
Saying
if you
that you
take
can't
out
do
the
that.
food from their in front of them, then they will feel it is a disadvantage. So I am I'm layman.
It is both sides. If you ask me, that is like it is having some advantage and some disadvantages.
Yes. Yeah. The next one is like mass changes. So in ECC, there is a transaction code called mass. I used many times, but I don't know whether people are using it or not. Uh, there will be object type. We can select a table there. We can do mass changes. If it is like if you want to modify a particular field for all the cost elements or all the GL accounts, whatever you want, you can do it. This is the simplest way. Uh, Now, even S4HANA, because of introduction of this cast element into GL, they brought a new table SKCSKB. By using that, you can do mass changes in the cast element also. So we already discussed about this OKB9 default account assignment. This is the default account assignment we were discussing, cost center and order. Earlier it was there. Since it's master data, users can go ahead and they can change, they can put whatever they want. Because it is merged in GL accounts, so now it is not possible. They have to go with this route, that is OKB9. Yes, this is a disadvantage for few people. This is an advantage if you see audit point of view. Like nobody can tamper anything, and no SOD violations or nothing. And this is a validity I was discussing earlier, like a valid from to date. This is not possible because it is merged in GL accounts. So, we used to do this customization in ECC for COFI real-time integration. Probably most of the people are familiar about the transaction KALC, and we'll do the configuration. And for every CO business transaction, we need to assign debit and credit accounts so that whenever any postings happened in CO, by using secondary cost elements, then it will be updated and it will show in finance. The only problem that time we have is original GL accounts, it won't show. It will show only the secondary cost elements. Whatever GL accounts mentioned here will be shown in the GL document. I mean FI document. The right side you can see there is a new configurations introduced, and you can give different document type for each business CO business transactions. and it is no longer required to do these configuration, giving the specific GL account for each CO business transaction. If you see right side, for the same KZPI, that is actual overhead periodic calculations, we are just assigning the document type. We are not assigning any GL account. Basically, why we are not assigning this GL account is now even secondary cost element is a part of GL account. So there is no need to have separate GL account for this COFI reconciliation. So all the postings, whatever you do for assessment or overhead, everything will be updated in finance. It will be shown in finance. So here, right, this is screenshots of case UFI, this assessment transaction. Left side, you can see in ECC, we have cost element 70010. And if you see the accounting document, in the earlier screen, we saw like a GL account. If you see here, for these transactions, the debit account is 49998 and credit also same. Because of this setting in the accounting document, both debit and credits are posting into same account. By seeing this, it will be difficult for the end user or finance guy to understand what exactly this, why we have done. Again, they have to go back and they have to see in CO why this posting happened. So now, because of merging of the GL accounts, we have identity of these GL accounts. These are the secondary cost elements posted in the right side screen with the different cost centers. These will correctly reflect in accounting document also. If you see, there is no change. We are not using any intermediary account since we did not do any configuration for this. So it is showing correctly. And by seeing this, people can understand, okay, this is the purpose we had done. I know there are many simple ways to identify, but in layman's terminology, by seeing this, they can understand. So now we'll jump into FI and CO period lock. So in S4HANA, they brought third set of locking entries for period 3. Basically, these period 3 are for CO transactions, and there is no change in 1 and 2. 1 is for regular transactions, 2 is for with the authorization group, during the month end, if they want to allow very few people to post any adjustment entries, maybe 1 or 2 days, they can give that authorization access for few set of people. They can do this whatever transaction they want. So that is the reason it is there. And for period 3, it is for CO.
So old transaction gone away, that other one which is for the controlling?
I'll come to that. So the transactions OB52 and S_ALR 87003642. These are the two transactions will take you to here. And OB52 normally consultants will use, and sailor transactions business users will use. So we already discussed about this authorization group, and if you see here, I think this miss thing. Yeah, the highlighted one, this is yes accounts starting with 8 zeros, and for this set, this is for COFI postings, and they left the third period blank. I will tell you why. I mean, this is not mandatory to open it, or else they can leave it. Next slide, we have OKP1. This is the period log form from controlling side. For example, if you leave it blank, there is no issue, and you can monitor through OB52. If you log this one, then they cannot do. So it because no, basically this CO business transaction, the transaction type is coin. All postings will have with the CO. So if you log this one, basically this in finance, third set will handle only coin transactions. So it is always better to keep open everything here, but most of the project people won't touch these things and they will leave it like this, CO postings. So though it is not removed, but still it works. And if you want to lock it, you can unlock it, or else you can leave it. So just highlighted all the CO business transactions. The reason why I mentioned is what is the business transaction in CO and what is the transaction code. Most of the times, people never look into these business transaction types. Just they will be aware about transaction codes. Basically, KSU5 used for assessment of costs, actual assessment. But the business transaction, when you see the COEP table, there you can see what is the business transaction type. This is RKIU. And right side, if you see, postings following from FI, SD into CO. You can do postings from various sources, FB50, FB01, F-02, MI0. So always, whenever it posts anything, it will post with a COIN coin in CO. This is there is no change about this in S4 HANA. This is as it is in ECC also. So because of inclusion of GL accounts into cost elements into GL accounts, security team need to provide additional access. If you see one highlighted K underscore CSKB, that is a COCCA cost element master. Earlier it was do not check for FS00 transaction. Now, because SAP merged even cost elements into GL accounts, it will be check only. So it means it will check the authorization whether the user have access for this or not. The security team will develop different rules based on the requirement. If they want to restrict anybody to create cost element, they can restrict. So what we discuss today is we thought of discussing only differences between ECC and S4 HANA with respect to CO, but we have many differences in COPA. So what we thought is we thought of postponing this to next session so that we can spend much time in discussing COPA, because there are many changes in COPA. Even if you want, we can open SAP screen, there we can see what are the changes, everything. Just I will hold for a minute so that if anybody wants to add any points, they can add till here. Even I never worked in S4 HANA. Just I worked, just I practiced a few times, and whoever has worked in S4 HANA, maybe they can add more points in here.
Thank you, Murali. Just I want to add few more points related to the material master. So whatever you covered, that is very good and informative. The major changes from material master, we can see only two changes. You already said that the material length has been extended from 18 to 40. That is one of the major change. But still, some limitations are there. So only if you are using material master only for material purpose, that what would be fine. But if your any interface is transferring the data from ECC to S4 HANA, from non-SAP to SAP HANA, non-SAP to S4 HANA, that the whatever the BAPI got not changed the number. So still BAPI is using 18 numbers, that 18 length characters. So that's the reason the S4 HANA, it is not a mandatory to extend the length. By default, it will be 40. But using OMSL transaction code, again, you can back it to 18. So that is one of the flexibility they have given. Since the BAPI in the BAPI program, the length has not been changed to 18 to 40. I think it may be done in the next release. That is one of the major thing as of now. Another thing is they have introduced a new material type called serve, SCRV. This is for services. So that is the one of the another change. And another change, I think, some foreign data information. I think something is there. So that is one of the field got changed. not the tab. Only field got changed and they added to the GTS, the global some GTS field. But that is not a big change. The major change is the change of length and creation of new material type. That is
Yeah.
the only changes.
Yeah, thanks Satish for adding
Yeah,
points. I reserved this point to
yeah.
discuss when we are discussing about COPA. Since
Okay,
you highlighted, I would like to add the COPA point also here so that it will be
please,
covered.
please.
Yes, you're correct. In the Metal Master Mara table, yes, it is though they increased to 40. Some of the BAPIs are not updated, but I think this is this is updated in 1809. I think it is now there. I don't know, but like somewhere I read like that function, all the BAPIs are updated with the 40 characters, but still I don't know. Another thing is Matnar. Matnar, MATNR. This is 40 in Mara table, but in Copa, will be using different characteristics Matnar, but there is no relation. But still in Copa, it is 18 characters. They did not touch that, and we have to use 18 only if you want to have material as a characteristics in Copa. So any other. So like then so now it is almost 9 o'clock. So you want me to continue with the COPA, or else you want to postpone this session to next week so that we can cover. Satish can handle product costing now, and then next week we can cover differences in COPA and product costing material ledger in the next week.
Yeah, Murli, that is a good idea. So that next week also we'll have some stopgap to
Yeah, that is a good
work with
idea.
for Satish, you know.
Yeah, the reason why I want to postpone this to next week is like we have many changes in COPA. Initially, when I started drafting this, I was thinking like there are very few changes, but later I realized that there are many changes in COPA. Even if we see here, it's almost 29 slides in COPA. And what I thought is like I thought of showing you some screens in SAP, how it got impacted, so that people will get more idea about COPA. But I don't want to cover standard COPA, just with respect to S4 HANA and ECC differences.
Yeah, that's a good idea,